For centuries, the people of Earth had endured the oppressive rule of the mighty Galactic Empire. From the moment humanity had joined the galactic community, their home planet had been exploited for its resources and strategic location. The imperial governors cared little for the well-being of the Earthlings, and the citizens of Earth grew increasingly restless under the yoke of imperial domination. However, a new generation of leaders had risen on Earth, determined to chart a different course for their world. They had observed the Empire's cruelty and corruption, the way it crushed the autonomy of conquered systems and robbed them of their wealth. The time had come, they believed, for Earth to cast off these shackles and reclaim its rightful place as a sovereign power in the galaxy. In the grand halls of the United Nations headquarters in New York, the delegates from every nation on Earth convened for an emergency session. The mood was tense, the stakes higher than they had ever been. After hours of passionate debate, a unanimous decision was reached. Earth would secede from the Galactic Empire, effective immediately. For too long, we have been treated as mere vassals, our resources plundered, our people exploited, declared the UN Secretary-General, her voice echoing through the chamber. No more. Today, we declare our independence from the tyrannical rule of the Galactic Empire. Earth will chart its own destiny from this moment forward. The news of Earth's bold move spread like wildfire through the galactic communication networks. In the imperial capital of Coruscant, the Galactic Emperor himself was outraged by this act of defiance. How dare these insignificant Earthlings defy the might of the Empire? With a furious sweep of his hand, he summoned his top military commanders and issued a stern warning. "This rebellion will not be tolerated," the Emperor thundered. "Mobilize the fleet at once. I want every available warship dispatched to the Sol system to crush this insolence. Earth will learn the true consequences of challenging the power of the Galactic Empire." Back on Earth, the leaders of the newly formed Terran Union watched the Imperial response with a mixture of trepidation and determination. They knew that the might of the Empire's forces would soon be bearing down on their home world, but they were resolved to defend their freedom at all costs. "We have taken a bold step today," the president of the Terran Union said in a televised address, his face stern and resolute. "The path ahead will not be easy, but we stand united in our conviction. Earth will not bow to the demands of the Galactic Empire. We will meet their aggression with the full force of our resolve. Let the Imperial fleets come. They will find that the people of Earth are willing to fight for their liberty." The citizens of Earth, having endured centuries of imperial oppression, rallied behind their leader's call to arms. Factories were hastily converted to produce advanced weaponry and state-of-the-art warships. Scientists and engineers worked around the clock, driven by a sense of urgency, to develop revolutionary technologies that could give Earth's fledgling military a fighting chance against the formidable imperial war machine. As the Imperial fleet began its ominous journey towards the Sol system, the people of Earth braced themselves for the coming storm. They knew that the fate of their world hung in the balance, and that the struggle for independence would be long and arduous. But they were determined to write a new chapter in the history of their planet, one where Earth would no longer be a mere pawn in the grand game of the Galactic Empire. The news of Earth's defiant declaration of independence from the Galactic Empire sent shockwaves through the corridors of power on the imperial capital of Coruscant. The Galactic Emperor, a man used to absolute obedience from his subjects, was outraged by the audacity of the Earthlings. How dare these insignificant humans defy the will of the Empire? The Emperor growled, pacing furiously in his throne room. They will learn the true consequences of their insolence. With a flick of his wrist, the Emperor summoned his most trusted military advisors and commanders. In a terse, commanding tone, he issued his orders. "Mobilize the fleet at once," the Emperor declared. "I want every available warship dispatched to the Sol system. Crush this rebellion before it spreads to other systems. Earth will be made an example of, a warning to any who would dare challenge the might of the Galactic Empire." The advisors, well versed in the Emperor's mercurial temper, wasted no time in relaying the orders to the Imperial Starfleet. Within hours, massive star destroyers, battle cruisers, and squadrons of advanced fighters were making their way towards the distant Sol system, where the defiant planet Earth awaited their arrival. Back on Earth, the leaders of the newly formed Terran Union watched the Imperial response with a mixture of trepidation and grim determination. They knew that the might of the Empire's forces would soon be bearing down on their home world, but they were resolved to defend their hard-won freedom at all costs. The Imperial fleet is on the move, the President of the Terran Union announced to his cabinet, his brow furrowed with concern. We must act quickly to bolster our defenses and prepare our people for the coming battle. Across the globe, the governments of Earth poured resources into rapid military expansion and the development of cutting-edge technologies. Scientists and engineers worked around the clock, driven by a sense of urgency, to create new generations of advanced warships, powerful energy weapons, and sophisticated defense systems. In the meantime, the Terran Union reached out to other star systems, pleading for their support in the impending conflict. The Galactic Empire has become a tyrant, oppressing and exploiting worlds across the galaxy. The Terran Union's ambassador addressed the representatives of neighboring systems. Earth has taken a stand against this oppression, and we ask that you join us in our fight for freedom. Together, we can forge a new path, one where no world is beholden to the whims of the Imperial throne. The response from the other systems was mixed. Some, weary of the Empire's heavy-handed rule, were eager to join the Terran Union's cause. Others, fearful of the Imperial retaliation, were reluctant to jeopardize the fragile peace they had maintained. As the Imperial fleet drew closer to the Sol system, the leaders of the Terran Union knew that time was running out. They had to act quickly to bolster their defenses and secure alliances if they stood any chance of withstanding the coming onslaught. The fate of our world hangs in the balance, the President of the Terran Union addressed the people of Earth in a rousing speech. The Galactic Empire seeks to crush our dreams of freedom, but we will not go quietly into the night. We will fight, with every ounce of our strength and determination, to defend our home and our way of life. This is our moment, Earthlings, to show the galaxy that we will not be subjugated, that we will not be silenced. The future of our planet is ours to write. The citizens of Earth, their spirits ignited by their leaders' words, rallied behind the call to arms. They knew that the battle ahead would be fierce, but they were prepared to risk everything to secure their independence from the Galactic Empire. As the ominous shadow of the Galactic Empire's fleet loomed ever closer, the people of Earth knew that their very survival hung in the balance. The leaders of the Terran Union had taken a bold step in severing ties with the Imperial regime, and now they had to ensure that their homeworld was prepared to withstand the impending onslaught. Across the globe, governments poured massive resources into rapidly upgrading their military capabilities. Factories that had once produced civilian goods were hastily converted to churn out the latest in advanced warship technology, cutting-edge weapon systems, and state-of-the-art defense platforms. Time is not on our side, the Terran Union's Minister of Defense declared to his assembled team of military strategists and engineers. The Imperial fleet will be upon us soon, and we must be ready to meet them with everything we have. Scientists and researchers, their minds abuzz with innovative ideas, worked around the clock to develop new technologies that could give Earth's forces an edge against the formidable Imperial war machine. From experimental energy shields that could deflect the powerful turbolasers of the Star Destroyers to advanced drone swarms capable of overwhelming enemy fighters, no avenue of research was left unexplored. We need to push the boundaries of what's possible, one of the lead scientists, a brilliant young woman named Dr. Amara, told her team. The fate of our world depends on our ability to outmaneuver and outgun the Galactic Empire. As the days ticked by, the people of Earth witnessed the transformation of their once peaceful cities into bustling hubs of military activity. Massive shipyards rose from the ground, assembling sleek, futuristic warships that would soon take to the skies to defend their homeworld. Recruitment centers were flooded with volunteers, eager to join the burgeoning Terran Union Defense Force and fight for their freedom. "This is our moment." The Terran Union's president addressed the nation in a televised speech, his voice resonating with conviction. "For too long we have been beholden to the whims of the Galactic Empire. No more. Today we stand united, ready to write a new chapter in the history of our world. The Imperial fleet may be vast, their weapons powerful, but we have something they can never possess: the unbreakable spirit of the people of Earth." The president's words ignited a flame of hope and determination within the hearts of Earthlings everywhere. They knew that the battle ahead would be fierce, that the odds were stacked against them, but they were resolved to fight for their freedom, no matter the cost. As the first of the newly minted Terran Union warships took to the skies, their sleek, angular hulls gleaming in the sunlight, the people of Earth watched with a mixture of pride and trepidation. They knew that these vessels, crewed by their own sons and daughters, would soon be the first line of defense against the might of the Galactic Empire. In the shadow of the looming Imperial fleet, the Terran Union scientists and engineers continued to push the boundaries of what was possible. They worked tirelessly, driven by a sense of urgency and the knowledge that the survival of their world depended on their ability to outpace the technological advancements of the Imperial war machine. The countdown to the inevitable clash had begun, and the people of Earth steeled themselves for the coming storm. They knew that the fate of their planet hung in the balance, but they were determined to prove to the Galactic Empire that the human spirit could not be broken, no matter the odds. The Imperial fleet, its massive warships bristling with fearsome armaments, emerged from the depths of hyperspace, their sensors locking onto the small blue and green planet that dared to defy the might of the Galactic Empire. The Terran Union's hastily assembled defenses stood as the only barrier between Earth and the crushing force of the Imperial onslaught. "Begin the assault." The Imperial Admiral, a seasoned veteran of countless campaigns, commanded his subordinates. "Leave no trace of this rebellious planet. Make an example of them, so that no other world will dare challenge the will of the Empire." At his order, the Imperial fleet surged forward, its turbolasers and concussion missiles unleashing a devastating barrage upon Earth's fledgling defenses. The newly minted Terran Union warships, though outmatched in raw firepower, fought back with a determined ferocity that caught the Imperial forces off guard. "They're putting up more of a fight than we anticipated," the Admiral growled, his brow furrowed in frustration as his ship sustained heavy damage. "Intensify the bombardment. I want those defenses broken." Despite the overwhelming might of the Imperial onslaught, the Terran Union's defenders refused to yield. Skilled pilots maneuvered their agile fighter craft, weaving through the hail of enemy fire to unleash a deadly volley of missiles and energy beams upon the lumbering Imperial vessels. Earth's advanced planetary defense systems, hastily activated, added their own devastating firepower to the mix, raining down a barrage of laser and particle beam blasts upon the invading fleet. The skies above Earth became a chaotic maelstrom of explosions and clashing starships, as the two sides fought for dominance over the precious Sol system. Though the Terran Union's forces were outmatched in both numbers and firepower, their determination and resourcefulness allowed them to inflict heavy losses upon the Imperial fleet. "They're not backing down," the Admiral shouted, his face contorted with a mixture of anger and disbelief. "These Earthlings are more resilient than we anticipated. Dispatch reinforcements immediately." But even as the Imperial fleet called for backup, the Terran Union's defenders continued to fight with a tenacity that surprised their foes. Inspired by the vision of a free and independent Earth, the pilots and ship commanders pushed the limits of their technology and their own physical endurance, refusing to surrender in the face of the might of the Galactic Empire. As the battle raged on, the people of Earth watched the unfolding conflict with a mixture of pride and trepidation. They knew that the fate of their world hung in the balance, and that the outcome of this first major engagement would set the tone for the struggles to come. "We're holding them off, but barely," the Terran Union's military commander reported to the anxious government leaders. "We need more time to shore up our defenses and bring our full strength to bear. If the Imperial fleet can be held at bay for a little while longer, we may just have a chance of turning the tide." The leaders of the Terran Union exchanged worried glances, their eyes filled with a determined resolve. They had taken a bold step in defying the Galactic Empire, and now they had to ensure that their gamble paid off. The future of their world depended on the outcome of this pivotal battle in the skies above their home. As the sun set on the first day of the conflict, the Terran Union's defenders continued to hold their ground, their unwavering spirit and ingenuity proving to be a formidable match for the raw power of the Imperial war machine. The stage was set for an even greater clash to come. As the fierce battle raged in the skies above Earth, the leaders of the Terran Union held a series of frantic diplomatic meetings, reaching out to their counterparts in neighboring star systems. Their message was one of unity and a call to arms against the tyrannical Galactic Empire. The time has come for us to stand together and defend our freedom, the Terran Union's ambassador pleaded with the representatives of the surrounding systems. The Imperial fleet has already set its sights on our world, and we cannot hope to withstand their onslaught alone. We must forge a coalition, a united front against the oppression of the Empire. The response from the other systems was mixed. Some, weary of the Imperial rule and inspired by Earth's bold defiance, were quick to pledge their support. Others, fearful of the consequences of challenging the might of the Galactic Empire, were more hesitant to join the cause. The risk is too great, one of the system leaders argued. We have maintained an uneasy peace with the Empire for generations. To openly defy them now would invite the full force of their vengeance upon our worlds. But the Terran Union's ambassadors were persistent, their words laced with a sense of urgency and a vision of a future free from Imperial tyranny. The Galactic Empire has grown complacent, drunk on its own power, they argued. If we unite our forces, we can break their hold over the galaxy. This is our chance to forge a new order, one where we are masters of our own destiny. Slowly but surely, the diplomatic efforts began to bear fruit. One by one, the surrounding systems pledged their support to the growing galactic coalition, their fleets of advanced warships and seasoned crews ready to join the fight against the Imperial invaders. As the news of the coalition's formation reached the Sol system, the beleaguered Terran Union defenders felt a surge of renewed hope. They knew that the arrival of these reinforcements could tip the scales in their favor, giving them a fighting chance against the might of the Imperial fleet. The coalition fleet is on its way, the Terran Union's military commander announced, his expression grave but resolute. We must hold our ground, keep the Imperials at bay until they arrive. This is our moment, Earthlings, the moment we've been waiting for. With a renewed sense of purpose, the Terran Union's forces redoubled their efforts, launching daring strikes against the Imperial vessels and inflicting ever heavier casualties upon the enemy. The skies above Earth became a chaotic dance of blaster fire and missile streaks as the two sides fought for dominance over the vital Sol system. As the Imperial fleet pressed its assault, sensing the opportunity to crush the Terran Union's defenses before the coalition's arrival, the Earthlings fought with a desperation born of their determination to secure their freedom. Pilots pushed their fighter craft to the limits, weaving through the hail of enemy fire to deliver devastating blows against the Imperial warships. They're not giving an inch. The Imperial Admiral growled, his frustration mounting as his forces sustained heavy losses. Where is that damned coalition fleet? But just as the Imperial forces seemed poised to break through the Terran Union's defenses, a flash of light appeared on the horizon, signaling the arrival of the long-awaited coalition fleet. Sleek, powerful warships from across the galaxy emerged from hyperspace, their weapons primed and ready for battle. The Terran Union's defenders let out a roar of triumph as the coalition vessels joined the fray, their combined firepower turning the tide of the battle. The Imperial fleet, caught off guard by the unexpected reinforcements, found itself outmatched and outmaneuvered, its once fearsome advance ground to a halt. As the fiercest fighting raged in the skies above Earth, the people of the planet watched with bated breath, their hearts swelling with hope and pride. They knew that this battle would be a turning point, a defining moment in the struggle for their independence. And as the coalition's ships tore through the Imperial ranks, The Earthlings knew that their gamble had paid off. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and the Terran Union and its newfound allies were determined to write a new chapter in the history of the cosmos. The arrival of the Galactic Coalition fleet in the Sol system had turned the tide of the battle, but the Terran Union's defenders knew that the war was far from over. The Galactic Empire, its pride wounded by the stubborn resistance of the Earthlings, was marshaling its full strength for a decisive assault on the defiant planet. In the imperial capital of Coruscant, the Galactic Emperor paced the floor of his throne room, his eyes narrowed with fury. He had underestimated the resolve of the Earthlings, and the formation of the coalition had caught him off guard. But he was not about to let his grip on the galaxy slip through his fingers. "Dispatch the entire Imperial fleet to the Sol system," the Emperor commanded, his voice laced with a cold, ruthless determination. "I want Earth reduced to ashes, its people crushed under the weight of our might. This rebellion will be quashed, and the rest of the galaxy will learn the true price of defiance." Within days, the skies above Earth were darkened by the presence of an immense Imperial armada, its warships bristling with devastating weaponry. The coalition forces, bolstered by the arrival of reinforcements from across the galaxy, stood their ground, preparing to meet the looming onslaught head-on. "They're coming with everything they've got," the Terran Union's military commander said, his brow furrowed with concern. "This will be the fiercest battle we've faced yet, but we cannot falter. The future of our world depends on our victory here." As the Imperial fleet surged forward, unleashing a devastating barrage of turbolaser fire and missile strikes, the coalition ships responded in kind, their advanced weaponry carving through the enemy ranks with devastating precision. The skies above Earth became a chaotic maelstrom of explosions and clashing starships as the two sides fought for dominance over the vital planetary system. The Terran Union's planetary defense systems, hastily upgraded in the wake of the first Imperial assault, added their own formidable firepower to the mix, raining down a hail of energy beams and guided missiles upon the invading fleet. The Earthlings, their resolve hardened by the stakes at hand, fought with a ferocity that caught even the seasoned Imperial commanders off guard. "They're not backing down," the Imperial Admiral shouted, his face contorted with a mixture of frustration and disbelief. "Concentrate all fire on their planetary defenses. We must break through their lines and deliver the final blow." But the Terran Union's defenders refused to yield, their ships weaving through the hail of enemy fire to deliver devastating strikes against the Imperial vessels. The Coalition's fleet, its commanders working in seamless coordination, outmaneuvered and outgunned the Imperial forces, slowly but surely turning the tide of the battle. As the conflict raged on, the people of Earth watched the unfolding battle with a mixture of trepidation and pride. They knew that the fate of their world hung in the balance, and that the outcome of this pivotal moment would shape the course of history for generations to come. "Hold the line," the Terran Union's president urged his people in a rousing address. "We have come too far to surrender now. The Galactic Empire will not break our spirit, nor will they extinguish the flame of freedom that burns within us. Together with our coalition allies, we will prevail." The Earthlings, their spirits ignited by their leader's words, redoubled their efforts, pouring every ounce of their strength and determination into the defense of their home. And as the battle raged on, the coalition's forces slowly but surely began to push the Imperial fleet back, inflicting heavy losses upon the enemy's ranks. As the sun set on the fiercest day of the conflict, the Terran Union and its allies stood victorious, their flags still flying high above the battered but defiant planet. The Galactic Empire had been forced to retreat, its grand ambitions of crushing the Earthlings' rebellion thwarted by the unyielding courage and resilience of the people of Earth. The stage was now set for the next chapter in the struggle for a new galactic order, one where the Terran Union and its allies would play a pivotal role in shaping the future of the cosmos. The Galactic Empire's defeat in the fierce battle for the Sol system had been a humiliating blow to the once mighty Imperial war machine. The stubborn resistance of the Terran Union, coupled with the timely arrival of the Galactic Coalition's reinforcements, had shattered the Emperor's dreams of crushing the Earthlings' defiance with a decisive strike. As the battered Imperial fleet limped back to Coruscant, the Galactic Emperor's fury knew no bounds. He had underestimated the resolve of the Earthlings, and the formation of the coalition had caught him off guard. But he was not about to let his grip on the galaxy slip through his fingers without a fight. "This cannot stand," the Emperor thundered, pacing the floor of his throne room. "The Terran Union and its allies will pay dearly for their insolence. Summon my top generals and admirals at once. We must devise a new strategy to bring these rebellious worlds to heel." However, as the Emperor's advisors studied the reports from the disastrous battle in the Sol system, a somber realization began to dawn on them. The Galactic Empire's forces had sustained heavy losses, and the might of the Terran Union and the Coalition combined was proving to be more than a match for the once invincible Imperial war machine. "My lord," one of the admirals spoke up, his voice laced with trepidation, "the cost of continuing this conflict may be too high. Our fleets are depleted, and we face the prospect of losing even more territory and resources to the Coalition. Perhaps it would be prudent to consider negotiating a peace settlement." The Emperor's eyes narrowed with fury, his fist slamming down on the armrest of his throne. "Negotiate," he spat. "I will not parley with these insignificant upstarts. The Galactic Empire does not bow to the demands of its subjects." But as the days turned into weeks, and the Coalition's forces continued to make gains across the galaxy, the reality of the situation began to weigh heavily on the Emperor's advisors. They knew that the Terran Union and its allies had proven their mettle, and that the Empire could no longer afford to ignore their growing strength. Finally, with reluctance and a heavy heart, the Emperor summoned the Terran Union's diplomatic envoys to the Imperial capital, signaling his willingness to discuss a peace settlement. "The Galactic Empire acknowledges the independence of the Terran Union," the Emperor declared, his voice strained and devoid of its usual bravado. "We are prepared to negotiate the terms of a ceasefire and the withdrawal of our forces from the Sol system." The Terran Union's representatives, their expressions grim but resolute, listened to the Emperor's words with a mixture of triumph and caution. They knew that this was a pivotal moment, one that would shape the future of their world and the galaxy beyond. "The Terran Union is prepared to accept your offer of peace," the lead envoy responded, "but we have several demands that must be met before we can consider the conflict resolved." Over the course of the next several weeks, arduous negotiations ensued, with both sides vying for the most favorable terms. The Terran Union and its coalition allies demanded significant concessions from the Galactic Empire, including the cession of resource-rich systems, the dismantling of key Imperial military installations, and the recognition of the Coalition as a legitimate and equal power in the galactic community. The Galactic Emperor, his pride wounded and his grip on power slipping, had little choice but to acquiesce to the demands of the Terran Union and its allies. The alternative, a protracted and costly war that could ultimately lead to the Empire's downfall, was a risk he was unwilling to take. Finally, after weeks of tense negotiations, a peace treaty was signed, officially recognizing the Terran Union's independence and the formation of the Galactic Coalition as a counterbalance to the Galactic Empire's authority. The once mighty Imperial war machine had been forced to cede territory and resources, a humiliating blow to its reputation and influence. As the news of the peace settlement spread across the galaxy, the citizens of Earth erupted in joyous celebration, their dreams of freedom and self-determination finally realized. The Terran Union had emerged from the conflict as a rising power, commanding the respect and admiration of both its former Imperial overlords and its newfound coalition allies. The stage was now set for a new era in the galaxy, one where the balance of power had been forever shifted. And the Terran Union stood as a beacon of hope and inspiration for all those who sought to break free from the shackles of Imperial oppression. The signing of the historic peace treaty between the Terran Union and the Galactic Empire marked the beginning of a new era in the galaxy. The once mighty Imperial war machine, humbled by its defeat at the hands of the Earthlings and their coalition allies, was forced to cede significant territory and resources to the victors. This is a momentous day in the history of our world, the President of the Terran Union declared in a rousing speech to his people. We have broken the shackles of imperial oppression and carved out a place for ourselves in the galactic community. But our work is far from done. We must now work tirelessly to build a new order, one that is founded on the principles of freedom, justice, and cooperation. Across the galaxy, the former imperial systems that had been subjugated under the Empire's rule eagerly joined the Galactic Coalition, eager to embrace the promise of a more democratic and equitable system. The Terran Union, with its newfound status as a leading power, took on a central role in shaping the Coalition's vision for the future. We must learn from the mistakes of the past. The Terran Union's diplomats urged their counterparts from other systems. The Galactic Empire's reign was built on the backs of oppressed worlds, its coffers filled with the plundered wealth of its subjects. We cannot allow such imbalances to take root in the new order. Slowly but surely, the Coalition began to dismantle the imperial infrastructure, redistributing resources and granting greater autonomy to the former imperial territories. The Terran Union, leveraging its scientific and technological prowess, led the way in this process, sharing its knowledge and resources with its allies to help build a more resilient and self-sufficient galactic community. We must not simply replace one regime with another, the Terran Union's president cautioned. Our goal is to create a system where no world is beholden to the whims of a central authority, where all voices are heard and all people are free to shape their own destinies. As the new galactic order began to take shape, the Terran Union emerged as a respected and influential player on the cosmic stage. Its advanced military capabilities, combined with its commitment to diplomacy and cooperation, earned it the admiration of its allies and the wary respect of its former imperial overlords. The Terran Union has proven itself to be a formidable power, both on the battlefield and in the realm of statecraft, one of the Coalition's military commanders observed. Their unwavering determination and innovative spirit have been instrumental in our victory over the Empire. We would do well to heed their counsel as we work to rebuild the galaxy. But even as the Terran Union and its allies celebrated their hard-won triumph, they knew that the road ahead would not be an easy one. The Galactic Empire, though diminished, still possessed significant resources and influence, and there were those within the Coalition who were wary of the Earthlings' growing power. We must remain vigilant, the Terran Union's military strategists warned. The Imperial loyalists will not go quietly into the night. They will seek to undermine our efforts to sow discord and division within the Coalition. We must be prepared to defend our hard-won freedom at every turn. And so, the Terran Union and its allies set to work, pouring their resources and expertise into the grand task of rebuilding the galaxy. They established new diplomatic and trade agreements, fostered cultural exchanges, and worked to bridge the divides that had been created by centuries of imperial rule. The Galactic Empire's collapse has given us an opportunity to create a new, better future, the Terran Union's president declared, one where the voices of all worlds are heard, and where the pursuit of knowledge and the betterment of all sentient beings is the guiding principle. This is our legacy, and we will not rest until it is realized. As the months turned into years, the Terran Union's influence continued to grow, its ideas and ideals spreading like wildfire across the galaxy. And with each passing day, the people of Earth knew that their bold gamble had paid off. They had not only secured their own freedom, but had set in motion a transformation that would echo through the cosmos for generations to come. The years following the historic peace treaty between the Terran Union and the Galactic Empire saw a profound transformation in the very fabric of the galaxy. The once mighty imperial war machine, its pride and power shattered by the defiance of the Earthlings, continued to crumble as more and more former imperial territories pledged their allegiance to the burgeoning Galactic Coalition. Under the leadership of the Terran Union, the Coalition worked tirelessly to restructure the galactic community, establishing new systems of governance and resource distribution that prioritized the autonomy and well-being of individual worlds. Gone were the days of imperial oppression and exploitation. In its place, a new era of cooperation and mutual respect began to take root. We have come a long way from the days when Earth was but a pawn in the grand game of the Galactic Empire, the Terran Union's president said in a stirring address to the leaders of the coalition. Now we stand as equals, our voices carrying weight in the decisions that shape the future of our galaxy. Indeed, the Terran Union's influence had grown exponentially in the aftermath of the conflict. Its advanced technologies, its skilled diplomats, and its unwavering commitment to the ideals of freedom and justice had earned it the respect and admiration of its allies across the cosmos. The Earthlings have shown us the true meaning of determination and resilience, one of the coalition's senior diplomats remarked. Their victory over the Empire has inspired countless worlds to follow in their footsteps, to cast off the shackles of oppression, and forge their own paths. As the former imperial territories were integrated into the Galactic Coalition, the Terran Union and its allies worked tirelessly to heal the wounds of the past. They poured resources into rebuilding devastated worlds, sharing their knowledge and expertise to help the newly liberated systems establish stable governments and thriving economies. We must not simply replace one system of power with another, the Terran Union's president urged his fellow coalition leaders. Our goal is to create a truly democratic and equitable galactic community, where all voices are heard and all people are free to pursue their dreams. This spirit of cooperation and mutual understanding was key to the coalition's success in the years that followed. As the former imperial worlds shed their allegiance to the now crumbling Galactic Empire, they embraced the coalition's vision of a better, more just future, one where they would be masters of their own destinies, rather than mere vassals of a distant and uncaring overlord. The Terran Union has shown us the way, one of the newly liberated systems leaders declared. They have proven that the human spirit cannot be broken, even in the face of overwhelming odds. We owe them a debt of gratitude that can never be fully repaid. And as the Galactic Coalition continued to grow, the Terran Union's role within it only became more central and influential. Its scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to share their cutting-edge technologies with their allies, while its diplomats navigated the complex web of galactic politics with a deft touch. The Earthlings have become the linchpin of our new order, one of the coalition's military commanders observed. Their vision, their determination, and their unwavering commitment to the principles of freedom and justice have inspired us all. Indeed, the Terran Union's success had ignited a spark of hope and inspiration across the galaxy. Worlds that had once been content to toil under the yoke of imperial rule now stood tall, eager to forge their own paths and claim their rightful place in the cosmos. This is only the beginning, the Terran Union's president declared, his eyes shining with a sense of purpose and determination. The dawn of a new era has arrived, and we will be the ones to shape its course. Together with our coalition allies, we will build a galaxy where the dreams of all sentient beings can be realized. And as the people of Earth looked out to the stars, they knew that their world had been forever transformed. No longer a mere footnote in the history of the Galactic Empire, Earth had become a beacon of hope and a symbol of the indomitable human spirit, a testament to the power of determination, innovation, and the unyielding pursuit of freedom.